This is a double rainbow. It is an ultralight sill nylon single wall shelter that's built by Henry Shires over at Tarptent. It's super light, easy to set up, and fantastic. We're going to talk about it, so stick around. Alright, so you can see it's made in America. Let's see what's inside the box. As you can see, the box is really small. So here's my foot. It's not very big at all. Let's open it up and kind of see what we got here. This is my first official unboxing. Alright, so this is the liner. Keep in mind that this is it's a sill nylon tent, so it's a little bit different than a regular tent. It's a single wall tent. So you can buy this liner. This will help with condensation and things like that. I don't know if I'm going to need it, but I figured I'd buy it anyway. And, you know, never hurts to have it. Alright, so let's see what else we got in here. Alright. And there is the... Alright, so here it is, straight out of the box. And we're looking at about 23, about 5. So not really that big. And keep in mind that you can probably store the pole in a different location. Alright, so there's the tent. Very nice. And somewhere in here is going to be there's the pole. And they just switched the poles in 2013 to the 18-inch section. And so this is it's about right at 17.5. So these are going to be the 18-inch sections. Previously, before 2013, I think they were 20-inch. So they reduced basically the footprint of that. And you also get stakes. These are going to be Easton stakes. Nice little lightweight bag here. No cord lock or anything. Just kind of a little envelope style opening there. And we've got 5 or 6, I believe. Yep. It takes 6 stakes, and these are the Easton nail stakes. So let's slap all this on the scale and find out how much it weighs. All right, here we are at the cheapo Harbor Freight scale. Also, though, I found in the bag there's a little instruction thing that tells you how to set it up, how to use the trekking poles to make it freestanding. We'll check out all that stuff once we go outside, so who needs instructions? Alright, so let's take a look at how much this stuff weighs. So we have the stake bag, and it weighs, let's see, we're in grams. We're talking 3 grams, which is not much. 1 Easton nail stake here, we're talking 8 grams or 1/4 ounce. For you ounce folks, and we'll line them all up here. We're talking 1.65 ounces or 48 grams for the stakes. Ooh, they're loud. I may use those. I may use my MSR groundhogs. We'll just kind of see. Alright, so pole with rubber band to hold it together. 219 grams, 7.7 ounces. Alrighty, now let's move on to the tent itself, see if we can't balance this thing up on here. Alright, I just put the box up there on the scale to kind of give me a space to put this thing so it doesn't fall overboard. And we're looking at 33.25 ounces. For a total of 943 grams. So I forgot how much everything weighs, so I'll put the entire total weight here at the end. And let's head outside and set this thing up and check it out. Holy crap, I bet you thought I forgot, which I did, but I saw it on the ground. So here it is. This is the liner. And I think the liner was supposed to weigh 4 ounces. And we got 118 grams and 4.15 ounces. So I'll add them all up, stick them all here at the end, and I'll show you also what the advertised weight is on the website. Alright, so the key to these ultralight shelters is to make sure that you're setting up in a good spot. You want to make sure that there's no sticks and rocks and things like that, because the material is a little bit more ultralight, and consequently you want to make sure that you don't damage it. It may not be as durable as, say, you know, a 6-7 pound tent with a really heavy, you know, floor on it. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the tent. I've got the tent poles in here, and I have my polycryo ground cloth. Now, Tarptent and most everybody else says that you don't need to have a ground cloth. This is my first outing, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Once I get the tent set up, I'll go ahead and slide it up underneath. Now, they say that the tent can be set up in 2 minutes out of the bag. And I'm going to probably disagree with that, mainly because I'm not as proficient. But let's see. There. Pretty much set up. I'll need to make adjustments. It is not freestanding, so until you can get those 2 ends in there with the pole, it can be a little sail-like. But the hardest part is getting that one pole in and putting the stakes down in the Missouri soil. So let's get moving. I'll put that ground sheet underneath. Alright, so here it is all set up. I got my little ground sheet underneath. And it took me more than 2 minutes to set up, but I'm sure you'll get better at it with practice. So let me bring the camera in a little bit closer, and I will show you some of the features. All right, first let's say that the Tarptent Double Rainbow does take 6 stakes to set it up. It is not necessarily freestanding unless you use your trekking poles, which I'll try to show here in a little bit later. But it does come with 6 of these Easton pegs. I think they're a 1/4 ounce a piece. And this nice little bag. I prefer to use the MSR groundhogs. I find that they hold a little bit better, and I don't have to put them as far in the ground, and so I can raise this section up a little bit. And let me bring it down here. You'll see, so I'll get a little bit more clearance on the ground, and it will help with airflow. Okay, so the Double Rainbow does have, it is a 2-person tent. It does have 2 doors. I bought it specifically for 1 person, but it definitely will fit 2 people. So, you know, you've got the roll-up doors, you've got the screened-in inner mesh here. And now this is all still nylon, and I did have to seal it. Okay, all of the tensioning is all done through this this thin dynamia cord. You just pull on this, and it's got grosgain and these nice little plastic tensioner. So if you just need to tension it up, you just pull on it and it will go ahead and tension. Now over here on the pole on each side, you've got this little, so you can loosen it up here, and you can open this up a little bit more and get a little airflow. And if you need to, you just tension this down a little bit, oops, and bring it down closer to the ground. It'll give you a little bit more coverage. Being that this is a single wall tent, it's very important that you have a lot of ventilation. And so not only do you have a ventilation all the way around the side and through the vestibules, but they have these little vents up here. And you've got a little mitten clip and a little elastic band to kind of keep that all nice together and you know, provide as much ventilation as possible. Because of this large shape, there could be issues with really, really high winds. So what they've added here, and I'm going to take you down here, hold on to your lunch. Up in here, you're going to see that there is a grommet up there. That grommet is designed for your trekking pole to go in there, the point, and then your trekking pole can be used on either side as extra stability in case of high winds. Now, as mentioned, this tent can be set up with a freestanding mode by utilizing a trekking pole. Now what we'll do is, we'll take the point of the trekking pole and it will go into here. So you lose this stake, the point will go in here. You're able to use this Velcro right here to wrap around your trekking pole, and then the handle of your trekking pole will go into this little fabric cup right here. Now, let me show you what that looks like. You can see at the end in here, and there is a slight bend on the trekking pole. And what we do is we slide in behind our rigid pole, and then this Velcro loops all the way around. Now the part that I don't like is this cup here at the end, and as you can see, it's kind of slipping out. Give you a better look over here. I've got straps, and my handles curve on these black diamonds, and it just doesn't seem to sit well here. The idea to me is very sound, and I think you could probably come up with a Tyvek pouch that would fit a little bit higher up on the handle and be a little bit more stable. This would not be my preferred method, but it's pretty easy. Just take it right out of the stakes and pop it up on there, so that is an option. Another nice feature if you have trekking poles and you bring some extra guy line is you can set this up in what they call porch mode. And that is, you just essentially loosen this up and move it from your stake. And you have a flap that's attached in here and some Velcro on the bottom of that. And essentially what you could do is you could set it up with two trekking poles, and this area becomes kind of a porch. Now it's not connected in here, so you need to make sure that it's not raining too bad. But if it was like a light sprinkle, and you got it tight enough, with a slight downward angle, you could open that up and get a little bit extra ventilation in there. And that, you can do that on both sides. So that's a nice feature as well. On nice days, you can open up both sides of the vestibule on both sides of the tent, and you'll definitely get a lot of airflow. And this will give you kind of a view as to how the zipper works. So we have the zipper right up here. And so it's just a single D zipper on both sides, and that brings you inside. Now the vestibule area right here, it's going to give you 7.5 square feet on either side. So you're going to end up with a total of 15 square feet of storage space for your packs and things like that. As this is a two-person tent, if you're running this with just one person, you should have no problems putting all your gear inside of the tent, which is kind of what my plan was. So let's go inside, take a look, and I'll show you some of the options inside. Alright, to start with, on the screen, you've got a little tie here to tie up your screen. So over here, you've got a little pocket hanging right there, and you have another little pocket right there, so essentially your head end or your foot end, however you want to do it. Now there's mitten clips on the inside here. Okay, there's another one right here, and then there's some more up top, and there's one right over here on the side. Now this is a single wall tent, So there could be possibility that you could have issues with condensation. You don't necessarily get that with a double wall tent. So to combat that, if you have issues, they sell an optional 4-ounce liner. And the 4-ounce liner will clip in, and I'll show that in a bit. But here you can see that if you have high water, you could raise this up, and this would help keep any water from splashing in. Conversely, over here, you can see that it's down, and we have a nice mesh open area over here. Now, it's a big bathtub floor. It's kind of pulled up right now because there's no weight on it, but once there's weight, you can see you've got maybe about a 4 or 5 inch little bathtub there. Here's your vents up here at the side. Once again, mitten clips for the liner. So it's not too bad. You've got a total of about 30.5 square feet on the interior. And let's see here. It's the floor space here is about 50 inches wide for the double rainbow, and about 88 inches long. And right here at the top, we have a peak height of 43 inches. So I'm sitting up and I'm having no issues sitting up in here. So there shouldn't be any problems, and I'm 5'10", so I think if you were 6 foot, you still shouldn't have any problems in here. All right, let's hop out. I'm gonna put that liner and I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see down here that all this is just an extra sheet of nylon that clips in. It clips in those 2 spots, one here, and then up here, and then over on the other side. Now it does add a little bit of to the height here. If you can see that, that's probably about an inch, inch and a half. So it does add a little bit of a puffiness in there. But if you had condensation issues, you could just leave it in there and it will pack up just fine. And that weighs about 4 ounces. So it's a little addition, and it should keep any condensation issues at bay. To give you an idea, this is a Thermarest X-Therm. It's 77 inches long. This is a regular size. You can see the distance you got on the back there, and then on the head. So there's enough room, I think. You could even go caddy corner if you want to get a little bit more foot room, if you're worried about it, and stick your pack off to the side. You know, they do make a single version of this. It's not as wide. What I did was I blocked out the footprint of what it would be on the ground in my basement with some tape, kind of laid in there, and really kind of helped me decide whether or not I wanted to get that extra width and pay for the extra weight, because it's a very, very light shelter, but you're going to add a couple extra ounces to go with the double. Give you a little side profile here. So it's pretty narrow at the top, wide at the base. But what I like about it so far is the fact that because it arches, and the arches are pretty wide, you're going to get a lot of headroom, you know, as opposed to, you know, an apex that just comes right up in the middle, so where all your headroom is just in the middle. You get a lot more headroom off towards the side, I think. This is the Tarptent double rainbow. So if you're thinking about getting an ultralight shelter, be sure to check out Tarptent and some of the amazing tents that they have. And I certainly appreciate you guys watching. And if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below. And be sure to subscribe as well, because I have more videos coming up soon.